Lally ho, friends, and welcome to episode 19 of Kupo Quest. How is everybody tonight? Thanks for those of you live sticking around. We're starting a little late, but that's just because we were talking and having fun. Sorry about that. Not really. So, quick recap of where we are and where we're going to pick up. So, for those of you that have been following along since episode 17, things kind of hit the fan as we found out that things inside the Empire were not necessarily as hunky-dory as we originally thought, as Noctis staged a coup, and essentially the group became outcasts of the Empire real fast. They met up with some allies, specifically old allies of Ava, that would be Biggs and Wedge, that helped them escape from the city, as well as Luca, Nozak's adopted son, who helped with the path out as they traversed through the sewers of Lindblum to escape. It was a little harrowing there for a while. There was some Sahooligans that had made their den down in the sewers, and thanks to some very clever water manipulation on Ava's part, most of the group was able to get out safely. However, Ava themselves got trapped in this whirlpool caused by the Sahooligans and almost perished, but luckily was able to do some really dope monk shit as he, at the very last minute. What were you at, like, what was your HP? Do you remember? It was low.
It was single digits.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought so. I was like, I was getting nervous.
Yeah.
So I managed to get out of the... Oh, by the way, the water was poisonous, or was at least enough to deal damage to him while he was in it, in addition to being caught in the whirlpool. But luckily, at the end, everybody did get out. At this point, they had finally had a moment to breathe, and Izzy lost it a little bit.
He had a moment, all right.
Had a moment, had a little bit of a breakdown, and Nozak and Sarah both kind of talked him into sticking with the party, at least for now. Now, all that being said, we did have a new member that joined our team. On the way out of town, they did run into one Blake Whitewood, who was trying to save Jane, Sarah's mother. After having met one another, Nozak noticed that she had a very similar crystal, much like the ones that each of the members of this party have, and basically drug her along. So Blake has been thrust into the middle of this, going for a stroll in Lindblum, helping somebody, and then all of a sudden the next thing she knows, she's being pulled through the sewers of Lindblum and is now basically on the run as well. So that's where we left off, standing outside of Lindblum on the northern end of the city, and it was suggested that the group head towards Alexandria. That is a city toward the north of Lindblum that has been staunch enemies of the Empire since basically its inception. So I believe that was the plan, and then Izzy had mentioned contacting their mentor in order to get some assistance with tracking down Grunthor. I know I said quick recap, but so yeah, what are you all wanting to do at this? Is there anything you want to do before picking up right where we left off, or we can kind of just start the journey north?
All I need to say in regards for Nozak is, Your Honor, I played Whoopsie Daisy.
I played Oops.
Your Honor, my finger slipped.
Guilty of both, I think.
That's fair. Bloody court system's always against me. I don't know. I'm kind of cool to get going.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody just give me a perception check.
I haven't had to make one of them in a while.
Yeah, I usually don't make you make them, Nozak, because your passive perception's like...
Nice.
Hey. Speaking of, I rolled a 21.
All right.
Got a natural 20, 26.
Okay, so I was informed, by the way, I was informed that Grunthor has a trademark on natural 20s. So those will not be awarded to anyone else. They are deemed 19s.
All right.
26.
Nice.
2 26s. 14. Okay, wow.
That is going to be the only impressive roll that I have all night.
Well, that's why I ask for a perception check at the top, just to burn those, so that when we get into something else, it's more fun for me.
Evil activity.
As you begin moving, you have a relatively large group, but at this point, night has fallen, and you did manage to sneak out undetected, from what you know. But with those perception checks, as you kind of start making your way north, watching your trail, no one seems to have followed you out. It does seem like you were able to get into the sewers and out of the city without any major incident. You can hear in the distance, very faint because of how far away you are, it does sound like, let's see, you've got 26s. There may be some gunfire. Nozek, you would recognize that sound, especially considering you've made many, many weapons in the past. Blake, I don't know if you would necessarily know what the sound was, but it does sound more like localized explosions. Gunfire and weapons of that type are pretty much only found within the Empire. So, it does sound like something is going on back in the city.
Well, lucky we're on this side of that.
As you make your way for another, what you want to go? How far away do you want to go before you try? You're going to have to try to make camp. It's quite a couple days up to Alexandria. It's already past nightfall, but how far do you want to push it away from the city before you camp down?
Would we maybe... Can we do a check for that? Or like...
You can walk as long as you guys
1
want
or
to.
2 hours? Or...
What do you want to check for?
2-3 hours is probably safe distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, whoever wants to lead it, you can make me a survival check. Looking for just a nice...
Hi, Ava.
What you think is a safe place to camp.
I was going to say, Blake, now that we have a cleric, do you have a decent survival?
My survival is +4, so...
Oh shit, higher than mine.
I like how you say now that we have a cleric.
I mean,
Nozek's been a cleric the entire time.
Did I say that? Damn, that's crazy.
20. Okay.
Rick?
Even as you put some distance between you and the capital, you do get a little nervous because, again, there's not a lot. A lot of it's just open fields here. But eventually you do find some more clustered groups of trees you think would be a nice place to make camp. Even though you're pretty good distance away and you don't feel like you've been tracked, you feel a little safer there. So as you all kind of make your way into the trees and start setting up camp, you've got some time. If you want to have any conversations, if you want to, go straight to bed, whatever you guys want to do. You got some time as you set up the camp. Biggs and Wedge both go in and they start working on making the campfire. And Sarah kind of keeps tending to Jane and the children. Or Nellie, because Luca doesn't need anybody to watch after. So what do
we still have the chicken?
Yes.
Or did she go?
Yeah, we still got the chicken.
Yes. Duchess is with you. We'll follow you until you meet up with Grunthor, because if we lose the Chocobo, he will kill us all. He will kill us. Not our characters. He will come after all of us.
If we lose Duchess, we might as well not go get Grunthor.
I've already killed one of his Chocobos. Okay. So,
Oh God.
I can't be doing it again.
I'll roll whatever it is I need to like look for firewood or something. Are we doing a fire? Do we think it's worth doing a... Well, we need to stay warm, but like, should we?
are we even in the cold months right now, DM?
You're getting
The fire
towards
isn't-
it is
necessary.
chilly. It is chilly. It's essentially, I believe, I had it tracked. It's late summer. It's into the fall, so the nights are getting chilly.
At least there's no breeze to make it colder.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, that's good. That's a bit grim, but yeah, that's true.
You know, there's a bright side to every gill.
You all just find some kindling, and I'll make sure the fire is set once that happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find some wood.
Okay.
Hopefully that is a nature check.
Survival.
I tried. Can't hurt to try. That's alright then, I got a 13.
13. It's enough. I mean, there's a couple trees here. It's enough to get a nice small fire going. Enough, you think, to keep the kids warm for the night.
Not like the forest where we couldn't find any wood.
Yeah, that was a magical
was
forest.
embarrassing.
The trees don't really shed there.
Yeah.
Oh,
As everyone sits down, Izzy will pull out a blank book that he has, and as he does, you all see in ink, he starts making incredibly small runes along the book, and as he does, he starts to speak as he says, "So, you all probably would like to know more information about my kingdom."
Yeah, especially if we have to murder your family or something. It kind of sounded like you were
You
saying
don't-
back in the sewers.
We're going in
We
that
don't-
direction.
He sighs a bit. We don't need to murder them.
Okay, good.
Having the arch wizard be killed would throw things into anarchy, and if so, I would like to handle this as peacefully as possible. They may be allies to us later, because all things considered, if anyone could make sure that that Noctis feels sweat, it'll be, if anyone, the Mage Council. All of them on their own probably can take care of the problem, but they won't if they don't have to. He very clearly rolls his eyes at that. I came here by mistake. I mentioned it before. I was taking an airship to come help with the problem with the capital. But there was trouble and lightning struck my ship, and that caused it to go down. I was the only one saved by Master Matoya, because I'm the only one who managed to survive.
Okay.
But my dad got the position of Archmage after basically discovering what the previous one did. I don't have many details, which I know is rare for me, but he committed some sort of murder, and instead of having to fight for his spot of Archmage through magical combat like people normally have to do, they gave it to him on the spot for proving the previous Archmage's treachery.
Wow.
Wait, so you can just challenge someone to take
No,
the Archmage
it's
spot?
more
Oh.
of it's whenever it happens. You can't challenge someone when someone has a seat. It's normally when either they give the seat up or pass. It's actually a rarity of what happened with my father.
Oh.
But
Wow.
despite a murderer not leading our people anymore, someone who just upkeeps the status quo took the spot as well, and I was born to a family who excels in magic in many ways.
Like yourself.
I would argue different, but you can believe what you want. Do you know the families my parents come from?
What's your last name again?
Wasn't it
My name
Heimdall? No, that was the brother.
My name is Isaiah Hecate. Hecate is the family who has some of the most magical prowess in years, which doesn't surprise me that my brother ended up as a prodigy. My mother
The rest of you can roll a history check too on that.
Yeah. My mother comes from the Heka family. All of them scholars and help in some way with the magical college. There's a reason why you don't see many people who do magic like I do, because you're not allowed to do magic in Mysidia unless you're born with those innate abilities. So with that being said, you can probably imagine why a lot of people like me don't exist. The main source of knowledge when it comes to magic is basically blocked off if you don't have innate talent.
Wait, so how does that work with you then?
Oh, I learned from my mentor. The way that I do magic is a bit interesting. Instead of letting magic speak through me, I speak the language of magic itself. It's called the language of the Arcanum. There are over 3,000. There are over 3,000 characters that I had to memorize within a year.
Why a year?
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, that's just how long it took me.
Oh.
The runes I draw aren't just for show. I'm quite literally speaking the language of magic to summon what happens. If that makes sense. It's a bit different than other people.
Give me another history check. By the way,
okay.
results of the last one. Nozak, you've heard of the family, but mainly,
Okay, cool.
most
18
of
that time.
most of your purview has been within the Empire. You really only became familiar with the family name in recent years. Actually, the recent year when they started engaging with them for help with the plague that was going through Lindblum. So, with 18 though, as you're thinking again, you don't know so much about the arcane aspects of magic, but in all your time alive, in all your 900 years, you don't know of another person you've encountered that does magic quite the way Izzy does. And there's very, very few people that can do magic that aren't innately born with that ability. Wizards are rare.
Also, 900 years on the planet. I'm older than that up there.
Sure. Things are different up there.
Old boy.
Okay, so is there... I mean, I don't think that there is, but is there someone other than yourself and your mentor that can do magic that way?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misspeak. Mistress Matoya is a sorceress herself. She just knows a lot about most forms of magic. She's actually the one who taught me. She had tons of books on the language of magic itself, and she's actually the one who recommended it to me for whatever reason. I mentioned this to Sarah before, but the way that my magic works, it's not that I don't have a spark of magic. It's just
Different.
imagine if there was a flame inside of a bowl, inside of a lantern. My magic would be considered the oil, while other sorcerers their magic would also be considered the oil. For me, it's like you switch the lamp on and nothing happens until you connect it to another piece of machinery. That's why I have this orb. It was made for students back in the earlier days of magic because it's really good at summoning magic from people. I have to use this to siphon the magic from my spark to even do anything. I mentioned this before. That's one of the reasons why I can't use staffs, because the wooden material can't conduct magic well normally. It's normally implied that you can send your magic to whichever gem or construct you have by then.
Sarah speaks up at this point. She just kind of, as you look over, Jane's gone to sleep, and Nellie is kind of just lying her head in Sarah's lap. She looks like she's gone off to sleep too. You keep mentioning not having a spark or your own magic, but I've seen the things you can do, and Imagine how powerful your family could be if they even had a quarter of your dedication to this.
I was about to say,
Are they someone that we could trust?
My family?
If we're going to have to deal with them, and if you're this powerful, and as you say, which I still don't know if I quite believe you, but if you're this powerful without that spark, what are we dealing with, and why would they want Grunthor?
Well, that's a difficult question. Are you asking if you all can trust them, or are you asking if I trust them?
Well, I guess if you trust them would probably determine whether we think we can.
You will not like that answer, so I'm going to choose to answer the next question. As to why they were Grunthor, I haven't the foggiest idea. Ava, in your interaction with Hikael, did he mention anything about you all?
No. No, he didn't.
Oh,
This is one of those times
Yeah,
as
I
DM,
remember.
I'm trying to remember if I did and he's lying to you, or if I didn't.
I remember he did not.
I didn't think he
Yeah,
did.
you said he just spoke about me leaving, correct?
Oh, yeah, because I mistook him for you, and then he was like, oh, Izzy. Fucking Izzy. And then, yeah.
Right. So basically, the events that they painted to you was that I left, which
Yeah, I
I
think
guess
so. Kind of called you
makes
like
a
a
bit
coward or
sense.
loser or something and ran away from home or something.
Which I guess makes sense. If someone was sent on the mission and didn't come back, I would probably. And as he says that, he stops for a second and he says, "I'm sorry. Wait, Ava, he said specifically I ran away."
I don't think he specifically said that, but my pea-sized brain kind of
He
implied that.
implied that I left.
I think so. That's kind of what I took it as. Take that with a grain of
Uh-huh.
salt, because I'm not the best talker, but...
You see, thanks for saying. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. When I left, it was on the direct order of my parents. He was there when that happened. Uh, when that happened, he even seemed jealous that I was chosen for it because of how much I know about medicine versus him. But
What were you
my
leaving for?
to handle the situation in the capital that they sent him to handle. But I assumed it was because I just didn't come back. The reason I went back to learn with Mistress Matoya is because I assumed they didn't come look for me. But you see, he thinks for a bit. Why would my parents not know I'm alive? They're stronger than both of us. They could easily find that information themselves.
Blake.
Unless.
When Izzy mentions to help the thing in the capital, and then Nozak clarified with the plague, that perks your ears up just a little bit. As they mentioned something about a plague that went through Lindblum. Izzy, you were saying?
This doesn't make any sense. Either they know I'm alive and just chose not to look for me, or they don't actually think I ran away.
Could somebody have told them that you died?
Well, so it's customary that when the royal family, he puts it in quotes, when the family of the Archmage passes, they're supposed to mourn for a time. It's customary, and my parents wouldn't just not do that. Whether they care about me or not, they're going to keep up appearances that they're supposed to covet their power. So my question is, why haven't I heard any? Well, it makes sense why I haven't heard anything of it. They don't really tell their news to all of the lands, but how come he said I ran away and he didn't say I passed?
I don't know. Maybe he's starting shit.
He might just be talking shit. If he was actually jealous, I talk shit a lot.
I think that if we want this plan to work, we need to speak to my parents and not my brother. As much as I love him, I don't quite trust him to not be in my parents' ears, saying whatever he can to try to stay their favorite, despite the fact he's already had that.
Oh, go ahead.
I think that it is best for us to find a way there to speak to my parents specifically, and then speak to them, because if my brother took Grunthor, it's either something they ordered or he's just deciding to be annoying.
At this point, Biggs, who's just kind of been sitting there, he's just kind of sprawled out, and Wedge is kind of just laid up against him, already drifted off to sleep as well. And Biggs just kind of clears his throat. So what exactly is a plan then? Like, I'm not well traveled myself, but as far as I know, my city is up in the sky or something, right? Like how?
Oh, don't worry about that. Once we get to Alexandria, I just need to buy a message spell scroll, and we can ask Mistress Matoya for help. Unfortunately, I don't have the message spell prepared currently.
I mean, you guys... okay. With all the fancy shit you can do, you can't send a message to somebody?
I don't normally take time to get close to others, so I've had no reason to have it.
Well...
I can send a message to one specific person using this rock.
Oh, yeah, speaking of that, what are we going to do about fish people attacking
Yeah,
the kingdom?
Sarah, your home is kind of probably in ruins.
Have you told this to her before? I can't remember. I think you
did
did.
this while we were in the
Okay.
sewers.
Yeah.
Do you have a way to reach out and get in contact with your source and get a status update?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you do that now?
Like right now? Oh, yeah. I suppose, yeah, we're talking about it right now, so I might as well. I'll shake the rock, even though I don't really need to. Okay, what's going on?
There is a pause, an abnormally long pause, and you start to get
shitty out here.
a little anxious. And then you hear, "Sorry, I was busy. We're safe, but we had to flee. City's overrun. Moro retreated us to the Wind Shrine. We didn't have anywhere else to go."
It's safe now.
That's it. That's the end
I'll
of the
tell all that
message.
to Sarah.
Okay. I don't like that. That's still Empire territory, technically. I wish there was somewhere else we could send them, but... What do you think this means? This cannot be a coincidence. Cornelia attacked at the same time. Monsters from the sea, and then... Do you think that's connected to what we just saw in the sewers?
With the fish people?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What does all
There's
that have to
probably-
do? What?
Like they left the ocean because the monsters, that's why they're in the sewers and not in the ocean?
I don't know. I just... There's something going on that I don't like.
There's probably some form of correlation between the two, but I don't think it would specifically be like the fish people as a hive mind thing. I don't think it's that. I think it's just Noctis has clearly been planning that for a long time, and I mean, I didn't even know he would know about all of that stuff because we left Cornelia 2 months ago with Firion.
Wow.
So how would he know about everything?
And how would he have the ability to control or command creatures from the sea? How could he have that
Unless he's-
power?
Unless he's made a pact with someone?
Who?
I think that These are
Water
questions we need to ask people who probably have more knowledge than us. I think that maybe asking the icons will make more sense, since if anyone would know what's going on in the ocean, it's probably the water icon.
Sarah, you live close to the ocean. Who was the water icon? If you would know that information.
Yes, I mean, we don't really revere that one, but it's Leviathan. The most, I believe it was Balam. We used to trade with them when I was small, before all this ugliness with the Empire, but they're the ones that probably have the closest ties. I do believe that there's some kind of sunken temple off the southeastern coast where the crystal resides. If it's anything like Garuda, that'd probably be the place we could make contact.
We are currently
Far away from that. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Closest to the fire
we are
icon.
90 feet away from Pallet.
Yeah.
let me measure in peace. We'll be by the time we get to Alexandria, we're going to Missadia. By the time we go to Missadia, we'll actually be closest to Balam.
So do we think that Balam might be our next bet after Mysidia?
I think that saving the people in Cornelia seems pretty important.
And plus, if there are water monsters and we can get on the good side of Leviathan, and those water monsters will not be angry at us, or maybe even better, our friends, that sounds great.
Perhaps we should try
Yeah,
a
let's
different
try not
tact.
to kill this one.
Yeah. Well, this has been a very trying day. I think I'm going to try to get some sleep.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
She just kind of, tries to make herself comfortable. She already has Nellie kind of on her lap, so she tries to just kind of like scoot her off a little bit so that she's comfortable. Luca, by the way, is just kind of sitting next to them, up against a log, just kind of staring at the fire, like just pulling off like little twigs and throwing it at the fire, just not really doing anything. Are you all going to set a watch or anything?
I think that would be best because
Yeah.
your boy's going to stay up for about a short rest amount of
Okay.
time so he can redo his spell book.
So who wants to take the first
Oh.
watch then? Unless there's anything else you all want to do before going to sleep. And I'm going to metagame here just a little bit as the DM, and it's completely your choice. All I'm going to say is that sending is a 3rd level spell available to clerics.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Trust me,
Wait,
I've
what?
already been looking at a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Wait. Wizards don't have sending?
I mean,
No,
I'm
they
just
can
saying.
match you, but
I'm just saying, and clerics can redo
Oh.
their spells every long rest. So I'm just pointing that out.
Jesus Christ, Wolf, you scared the shit out of me.
No, I was just pointing it out that if
I
you
know.
wanted to, it's an option available to you. Just because I
I've
know we
already
have some new
planned.
clerics, and I just want to make sure that you don't make Izzy go like 4 miles out of his way to try to find a spell that you could just get from sleeping. But
Oh my god, did you see me looking through my spells? I'm sorry.
so who's taking the first
I-
watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
I'll take it with Duchess, actually.
Okay. So let's do the watch order. Who wants to take first, second, third?
I can take a second watch, and I can take it with by myself. Okay.
yeah,
So-
we have to separate all of us into 4 watches.
Okay. So this is great for me because on the screen it goes Nozak, Izzy, Blake, Ava. So I just go down the
Whoa.
line. This is perfect.
Let's go.
All right. As you all turn in
Calculated.
for the night, Nozak, go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll roll one for Duchess.
No. Good bird.
Dirty 20.
Dirty
Good
20.
shit, y'all.
Okay. You, as people start settling down for the night, it's quiet. You can hear the crackling of the fire, and you can hear the the restless sleep of your comrades as they're trying to kind of get comfortable. And eventually the rest of them kind of go off to sleep. Ava may be sitting up a little bit. I know that you only need like 4 hours. So I was kind of imagining you taking it for 2 and 3, but do whatever you want. Yeah, but 20, all quiet. It's a quiet afternoon. Eventually, about an hour in, Duchess actually kind of goes over to Sarah, curls up next to her and Nellie, and just slowly drifts off to sleep too.
Yes, well done, Duchess. Thank you, very, very helpful. I suppose she kind of deserves it. For the next hour, Nozak is just going to be going through everything that's happened in his head, and just probably borderline breakdown, but
Sure.
he's a big boy. Oh, he's a little boy, but he's a big boy.
Okay. As your
But
watch
yeah,
passes, go ahead. Sorry if you got more.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm just kind of keeping an eye out, chilling.
Okay.
Probably standing closer to Luca than anyone else, as I'm just like watching around and moving and stuff.
Okay. Once Luca's resistant to go to sleep, as he's just been staring at the fire. Eventually, you just kind of hear a soft voice that just says, "We're never going to be able to go home, are we?"
Right now, probably not. Not until everything with Noctis kind of passes, but honestly, I don't know anymore.
I always knew shit was going to hit the fan one day for one reason or another, but I always just kind of thought I'd get caught stealing something, or I don't know. Not this.
Oh, you got caught a couple of times, but money talks.
He looks over at Nellie. Just shit's changed so much for her, and I thought we'd be able to make her feel safe for a little bit, but
yeah, she's kind of in the span of a month and a half, she's kind of been through a lot that no child should deserve to go through at any age. But do you want Nellie to stay with us? Or, I mean, the original idea was talking to Sarah and Firion, but that kind of went down the drain. I guess so did we.
Clever. You're funny, old man.
I try.
I
But
look, we've known her a couple days, but I feel like I owe her. I feel like it's my fault almost. I mean, if I'd have just let you take her to the damn church or somewhere, she wouldn't be in this mess.
yeah, but who knows what mess she would be in? We know what the churches are like.
Yeah, I know, but
As bad as it is to think about, with everything that's kind of gone on, I don't think I'd change anything, to be honest. Like, there's a lot that's gone on, there's a lot that's happened.
I mean,
but...
I would have grabbed more changes of clothes, maybe.
Oh yeah, true. I suppose a blanket would have been nice.
Yeah. No,
On the safe side, Beryl's still alive, thank God.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have done if I heard he passed.
Hope he knows not to show up for work tomorrow. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have any issues. I kind of
just
feel bad. I hope he was saving, or he's got another job lined up. I know I was paying him more than I should have, but
well, he'll be fine, I'm sure. I want you to know I'm going to take care of her. Like, I know you all have things to do, and I know that you're going to have to go away again soon, but I'll watch after her.
Would you stay with Sarah? Do you think that might be a better idea? Well, not a better idea, I suppose. It's the only idea we really have right now going forward, but... I mean, if there's anybody I trust to look after you, or if there's anyone I trust you to look after, it's got to be her at the moment.
I think we can do that.
Okay. gonna make me feel better knowing that you're safe. So. Alright, well, sappy shit out of the way. Are you gonna sleep, or do you want to join me for the last hour and just keep a lookout?
Yeah, I can sit up with you. The two of you just kind of sit in a comfortable silence for the next hour. As eventually he starts to doze, and you just feel his head kind of lean over on your shoulder, but where he's so much bigger, the weight is actually quite uncomfortable for you. So I imagine you probably just eventually help him to the ground. All right. As your watch comes to an end and you wake up, Izzy. Easy for me to remember. I love this. This is the this is the watch order from now on. Then Grunther comes back and we have 5 and it messes it up.
Yeah.
Izzy, what are you doing? Are you taking a watch, or are you just completely ignoring it and studying?
Oh no, I think it's a bit of both, where he's taking a watch and he's just quietly writing down those very small runes across the book while just listening and keeping an eye out.
Okay.
It's fine if he doesn't get it done today. It's about to do it. It takes about the length of a short rest, which is about an hour. So if you want to say he doesn't get it done, it's perfectly fine.
No, I mean, the watches will be about 2 hours, so you'll have plenty of time. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
You know what? I just might.
And
Let's see.
you'll have time to finish what you're working on.
Oof. 16.
16. Your watch passes relatively uneventfully. You're a little distracted working in your book. At about the hour mark, you notice that it starts to get cold. The fire's died down, and it seems to be the night air feels more biting. And you look over and you see Nellie is just kind of whimpering and shivering a little bit.
He sighs, still realizing he's in his fancy clothes, and he's like, I really need to change. And I think with that, he just takes off his little jacket and throws it on top of her.
Okay.
Before just taking out his regular clothes and changing into those while everyone is asleep.
Okay. And with that, your watch passes. Sorry, did you have something else you wanted to do? Nothing.
Oh yeah,
quick, the watch.
Sorry, quick little fire into the center of the fire.
Perfect. As it blazes back up and you feel the warmth, once again, just kind of making its way around the crowd. Nellie, by the way, just immediately just stops shivering, and you can see her just bundle up underneath your thing and just kind of burrow down into your cloak. So, Blake, you are up. Give me a perception check.
Can I
Ooh,
join, by the way,
plus
since I've had my long rest?
24.
24. Okay. Oh, I thought you were doing your long rest for 2 and 3. Did you do it for the first 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so I get a long rest too, right?
Oh, we will at the end of this. Yeah. So
Okay.
Ava only takes 4 hours. So Ava's is quicker. So.
Okay. And so can I add new spells since I do the long rest
At the end of it,
after
yeah.
the long rest?
After the long
Okay.
rest, you can swap out the spells. The clerics are really nice. Clerics and druids, I think, get like just this list, and they can just swap them in and out when they want. It's really nice. Blake, you are starting to take your rest. Or sorry, your rest. Your watch. And you notice Ava starting to... It looks like they're starting to wake up as well. But they seem distressed. Like they're having some kind of a nightmare. You see... How do you rest, Ava? Do you like meditate? Or do you like actually sleep?
If he can, Ava usually prefers to lay with his back up against like the tree, or just with his back up against something.
Okay.
And he'll usually just kind of lay, not in a meditative pose, but he'll just lay with his back up and kind of looking like he's resting.
Okay. That's how he's sitting, but he's thrashing a little bit, like he's in the middle of some kind of a nightmare.
She would go over and she can't really see what's going, like her magic doesn't really work like that, but she could kind of feel the distress. And I don't have, she doesn't have calm emotions.
Yeah, she blew a lot of those, I feel like.
Yeah. So she can't use that, but she just kind of like does the like, oh, what's the word? The Slav squat like next to him, and kind of puts a hand on his shoulder and like doesn't cast calm emotions, but just tries to like warm, I guess.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. And just something comforting and just like, shh, like, it's okay.
Ava, you're completely submerged underwater. You're being thrashed about left and right. You're caught in a whirlpool and struggling to get out. And you can feel your lungs filling up with water as you try to hold on to your breath, but eventually you can't anymore as the burning takes over and you just let out the last of your oxygen. And you can see your life just drifting away from you in front of you. All around is just blue darkness. And then you feel a hand on your shoulder. And you feel something comforting. And it calms you a little bit. And though you still can't breathe, you feel a peace wash over you. What are you doing?
I drowned to death, but there's a comforting hand on my shoulder.
Well, you're not dead yet. You have
Oh, okay,
left
that's
your
good.
breath. Like you're not actually
great.
dead, but you have no air and you're fully submerged. But you feel this comforting presence.
Is there any anomaly to this presence? Is there anything besides dark water?
Give me a perception check.
All right, I'm decent at those.
Okay. When you look over, on your shoulder, you see this long green hand. Almost like, it almost reminds you of talons. This is the hand of Garuda that's on your shoulder, just comforting you and squeezing ever so slightly.
Thinking back to the vow I made with Garuda, I'll try and listen or feel for a breeze or a current change.
Okay.
See if I'm being guided anywhere.
Give me an insight check. 28. Okay.
Let's go.
You don't feel any breeze, necessarily. But Garuda's hand kind of slides down your arm until it's kind of overlapping with your own. And she starts to just guide your hand around. And you see the water start to split ahead of you and above you. And you can see a bright light that's kind of shining down, piercing through, as you can feel yourself just moving this around. And you start swimming. As she lets go and you start swimming as fast as you can. And when you burst the surface, you wake up, Ava. And Blake is standing there holding your shoulder the same way that Garuda was in the dream. And your palm is on fire. It's burning. You look down and you can see the symbol of Garuda looks to have gotten darker and has now where you had it was pure green, you have tints of red and blue in there. And you now have the control water cantrip from your intense experience with the water element.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Blake, Ava just kind of pops awake, and you see him like staring down at his hand, as it's almost glowing a little bit, like a green kind of alien glow almost.
Are you
Pretty out
okay?
of this world.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. I just woke up.
What's going on? Why is your hand doing that?
Oh. It kinda has been doing that the last few months. Oh.
Do
It's... yeah.
you need a healing?
No. I feel unfortunately fine. Thank you, though.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the nightmare. It seemed like you were having one. You didn't. You seemed upset.
Oh, yeah, no, it was great. I hate swimming. I
Oh,
don't ever recommend it to anybody.
you had a rough time. You had a rough time today.
Yeah, I need to work on my cardio. That was rough.
Yeah. Well, glad you. I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for your help. I don't know if we've formally met, but I'm Ava, by the way.
And Blake.
Thank you for saving me.
No, no problem. And thank you for taking care of that big fish man.
Oh, yeah, those things suck.
I've never seen. I've never seen one.
Yeah, me either. That was kind of creepy. He was making the entire fucking whirlpool, and he was just doing it. That was fucking cool. I want to do that.
Hopefully you can someday.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, has anything been going on? Did you just wake up?
No, it's my watch.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. I haven't. Nothing's happened. It's been pretty
Okay,
quiet,
great.
I think.
Good. I'm just gonna get up and start moseying around and start fucking around with my quarterstaff.
Okay. As Ava gets up and walks away, you're listening. You kind of just go back to sitting and listening. And eventually, something seems off. You realize that the sound of the fire has died away. As you look over, the flames are still there, but they're no longer moving. They're no longer dancing. They seem to be stilled. Ava, by the way, is also, as he was in the process of something, like twirling his staff around, seems to be frozen in time. The silence stretches out around you, and it's eerie. You don't hear people breathing. You don't hear the flames. You don't hear creatures in the night.
Stranger?
Give me a perception check. Okay.
Come on, Blake.
As you say that, you're not greeted by the same presence you felt before. You realize it's gotten very cold. You can see your breath now leaving your lips. What are you doing?
Should be standing up at this point and reaching. I forgot to say, she has like red threads in her hair, so she'd be reaching for like one of the threads and feeling, not sure how she's feeling, because she's seen the stranger before, and she's been visited by the stranger, and that's never really been a scary experience, but she feels like this is not what she's expecting.
Okay.
So she doesn't. And it's just another thing that's very new, so she's not really sure.
Blake's got a lot thrown at her lately.
Yes, it's just like she's kind of wanting it to be the familiarity of her home, but it's also like not. So she's pulling one of the threads from her hair and kind of tying knots in it absently as kind of a way to expel some nervous energy.
Okay. As you're doing that, you hear a feminine voice coming from somewhere behind you that just says, "There's no need for fear, child. I'm not here to hurt you." As you spin around, you see a glorious figure, blue skin, wearing imagine a dress, just because it's the only thing I can think of at the moment, like when Elsa puts on after she sings Let It Go, like a really nice kind of blue icy dress. I have a toddler, okay? So you're going to get Frozen references, okay?
I have one that acts like a toddler. Does that count?
She's sitting there with white hair with the frosts. It kind of comes down just past her shoulders, frosted on the tips, actually frost. As she's sitting there, and you feel the temperature around you has gotten very cold, but not painfully so for you. The cold that you're feeling reminds you of what you felt when you came into contact with Nozak, and I think Ava also, that frosted kind of life energy. She's just sitting on a log and just looking at you, almost amused.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't know who you are. My name's Blake. Can you tell me your name?
I can. I wouldn't expect you to know me. My name has been tarnished somewhat throughout history. I am commonly known as Shiva. I was more recently known as the Betrayer, though I take issue with that personally. I'm a mutual friend of your friends here. She kind of motions around to those that are frozen in the campsite here. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why did you freeze them if you're their friend?
Well, I've learned that most mortals, their minds can't really handle seeing the full force of an icon. As I've learned quite recently, it can lead to memory loss. You, however, I see that you've had some experience with maybe not someone fully icon, but at least a demi-deity of sorts. Your mind seems shielded from this, so I thought I'd pay you a visit.
I'm from the woods way up north. We call him the Stranger.
I'm familiar with who you speak.
And he's one of the... I'm learning so many things being out here. I don't know. We call it the old ways, or he's one of the old gods. Where I was, we practice the old ways.
There's been some debate on his actual, shall we say, godhood. But I know his parents. It's interesting. I've never met someone that's been so directly touched by icons, especially recently. And Even more...
Blake is like kind of touching her hair, or she grabbed one of her braids when she said that.
Yeah. I saw Ava look at his hand. That was not Garuda in her full icon power, if you recall. that was what was left over. Not a plot hole. She looks down and her gaze falls to the crystal you hold or the crystal that's in your pendant. Especially one that bears my crystal.
I don't know what this is. My pa gave it to me before, like when I got accepted into the apprenticeship. It was just something on a merchant. It was pretty. It was my birthday, and I had said I liked it the day before. But that's all I know.
And that's all you need. Destiny, fate works in very odd ways, doesn't it? Just look
Indeed,
around.
ma'am.
All of these people have their own little piece of my crystal. Came into it by various means. I tried to visit them. It didn't go so well. I managed to guide them to where I needed them to go, but it seems that contact with my full form may have messed with their minds a little bit, unfortunately. Gaps in time, I believe. But you're different.
My friends.
And she points to Nozak, Izzy, Ava, kind of just lying around. If you don't mind, I would like to perhaps guide you as I can. I know this stranger of yours. If you're more comfortable, we can stay in contact that way if you'd like. But I would like for you to know the power that you're about to receive. And in time, I will tell you more about why I had to do what I did the way that I did it. But for now, I'm afraid too much information might interfere with your path.
My path?
Oh, yes, child, you have a path, just like the rest of them here. And whether you want to or not, you're already walking on it.
You know if it leads back home?
I think all roads lead home eventually.
Home in the forest. Home can be anywhere.
That it can, can't it? I can't answer those questions. I can't see the future. I just know that I've been working on something for a very long time. And, well, this is the closest we've ever gotten with the 4 that you've met. Well, 3 currently. There's many of my crystals out
You
there,
work on Tuesdays?
and
Oh.
only some of them have been activated, and even fewer still have managed to make a dent in the course of this world. We're close. We're so close. But I think they'll need your help.
Do you know why I'm here? Why I left?
Would you like to tell me?
Am I If you're a goddess, you should know, right?
I don't know everything. Despite what your stranger might let you to believe, we're not omniscient. We can see a
What?
brighter scope than mortals, but we can't see or know everything. Or I could be lying to you. I just want to see if you'll tell me. waits.
It's the thing that
Sorry, what were you saying?
it's the thing. It's the thing that that you want to happen. Is that why I'm here? Like,
I have only directly guided mortals once in my life. I provide guidance when I can, but I have only once forcibly caused action. And as I said, it kind of messed with their minds a little. But I was tired of waiting. I saw potential, so I acted. Not with you. I know you can see things, though. I know you can see threads of life and how they pass and how they interweave. So I don't think it's hard for you to believe that perhaps some life strands just are destined to entangle at some point. And not even the gods can stop stuff like that.
no. No, they can't.
Anyway, she just kind of stands up and she starts walking towards you. Very, very, fluid. And with each step, as she pulls it up, there's just a trail of ice left behind that quickly melts after she gets about 2 or 3 steps away. As she just comes up and just reaches out to touch the crystal on your chest. And she just pulls it up and she looks at it and she just kind of rubs it between her fingers. We're so close. And she just kind of places it back on your chest. And you feel it just start to get very, very cold against your skin. To the point to where it almost hurts, and you look down just instinctively, but it doesn't look any different. When you look up, she's gone, and you can hear the sound of the campfire has returned. As you look around, people are moving again, breathing. Ava's still training. It seems like almost no time has passed.
Blake just kind of sits down where she is.
Your fingers are tingling, and there's this coldness kind of through your body, but it's powerful coldness. It doesn't hurt, but you feel this new course of energy kind of flowing through you. You have now unlocked the jobs, so you will have access to all of the job system
Let's
and
go.
all of that stuff.
Hey,
We'd
So-
love to see it.
When you wake up the next day, so actually this is the last, so after your long rest, you will be able to select one of those jobs. Also, the other 3 of them got a little bit of metagame knowledge, but I'm trusting them to not remember it.
Remember what?
There you go.
I've already forgotten literally everything you just said.
Perfect. With that, you all do get your long rest. We have
Yay!
come to our
Yay!
long rest.
I have
So,
changed so much of my shit, it's not even funny.
the morning has come, and everybody's just kind of groggily waking up in different times. Nellie is one of the last ones to wake up. Jane is still very much recovering. She still seems like she's struggling and probably has remnants of whatever poison the assassin used. And then, Biggs and Wedge get up and just basically start breaking down the camp. All right, what's the plan today? More
we
walking?
need to get to... Yes, we need to get to Alexandria as quickly as possible. And also, he pulls up his little book that seems much thinner than his other spell book, but on it, in like very, very small runes, like all across it, like it looks like it's black now, but as you look, you see there are just individual runes written on it. You see he holds it as he speaks a few words, and you see each rune lights up a bright silver color before there's a flash, And you just see in his hand is the exact same book he had before. I have this, and this should make our... You see he starts reading. Journey a bit easier if I can find space for the message spell.
Well, that's impressive. 2 books. Cool. I guess we'll have more reading to do on our long walk. That should make things a lot faster. Less boring.
Oh, I highly doubt that, but thank you.
Ah, okay. You can see Biggs does not know what you're talking about.
Oh, is he here? You should have this, and I'll hand you a pouch with 200 gil in it.
What? Why?
One I used one of those potions. I used that potion you gave me forever ago. And isn't making potions expensive?
Yes, but you don't... He just takes it.
Thank you.
Wait,
All right.
no, not 2,200.
What? 2 million gil. Where did that come from? So, what's...
Clerical errors.
Clerical errors. That's what we call every one of Nozak's actions.
All right, rude.
Damn!
Oh, my pride
Whoa,
and dignity.
shit.
Oh, that hurts.
So,
That was kind of savage.
The inspiration
Oh.
to the DM. Fuck you.
Yeah, Izzy will actually ask, and he says, do you guys want to stop at Elfheim to see if they have a message spell, or would you like to go straight to Alexandria?
How are we going to get a hold of the person that's taking us to the floating city?
I'm going to need the sending spell, which I can get if I can buy a scroll.
That one is what I would like to do.
Would
Perfect.
Elfheim
DM.
Yep.
Exactly. I was just about to ask DM, can I do some research?
about what? About
To see if Elfheim would have a magic shop.
yeah, go ahead. You're pretty well read. You know most of the geography of the place. Go ahead and give me, I guess, a straight intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Gotcha. +4, baby. Sorry, +3, baby. Nice. 17.
Yeah, you think that it probably would. I mean, it's a smaller town, so you think it would probably have a magic shop. You're not 100% sure how big it would be. So meta saying you're not sure if they would have the availability up to 3rd level in that spell or in that shop, but they might. You don't know. They definitely
Meanwhile,
have a magic shop though. Alexandria
Meanwhile,
rivals
with Alexandria,
Lindblum.
it's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alexandria is basically the biggest place outside of the Empire.
Okay. He says, it'll be less of a risk if we just go straight to Alexandria. So let's just continue our travel.
Yeah, and I'm
and it
not
would be
trying
further
to...
away from the Empire.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not trying to dictate what you're doing, but Alfheim does technically still belong to the Empire, so I don't know. I don't know how far-reaching this is. Like I said, I just kind of found out what was going on as it was going down.
Oh. Above table, that explains why it's in gray.
Yeah, that's the...
I just realized
that's
everything.
the
I literally
Empire's...
just noticed it as well.
Yeah, that is the Empire's, basically the political borders. So...
Okay. Makes sense, makes sense. All right. Let's all continue.
All right. So, continuing your way up to Alexandria. Okay.
Yep.
The journey takes a couple days.
Yikes.
Easy. I'm not gonna make you roleplay every single night because I don't want to, unless you really, really want to. But the journey does take a couple days. Let's just go ahead. Someone that's leading it, just go ahead and give me a survival check. Just for finding the quickest paths and stuff like that. 24. Okay.
You found parts even the DM didn't know about.
So, you all come up a couple days later, and are you following the road? Let me ask you that. Are you following the road, or are you trying to stay off the main roads?
Izzy, you're smart. How often do bandits and shitheads travel these roads?
I'm not sure. DM, you're smart. How often
History
do bandits
check. Let's do
travel these roads? Let's see.
I mean, I'm not really fucking scared of
Nice.
bandits.
That's a
if I'm being honest,
22.
22. You would know that the roads are probably more likely to be hit with bandits, but within the Empire, bandits aren't as much of a concern just because they have more security. What that also means is that you're much more likely to run into someone on the road. Also, the road will likely have a checkpoint to exit or enter the Empire.
Nope, fuck that.
Yeah, there's going to be a checkpoint before we enter Lumoria. However, bandits aren't really that big of a problem in the Empire. However, we may still run into some on the road. So, Ava, my friend who knows a lot about the more crime side of things, how do you suppose we continue?
Well, I say we avoid the checkpoints, and personally, if anybody starts shit with me, I just like to stab them, so that generally gets the point across.
All right. If we need to defend ourselves, I think it's completely fine, but I would prefer not to kill any bandits specifically.
Okay, you can do that.
If they're Garlean Garlean troops, no offense, Nozak, but they're probably going to be forced to tell. Shit. How did I forget the guy's name?
Noctis.
Thank you. They're probably going to be forced to tell Noctis. So I'll leave what we do with them up to your discretion, Nozak.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of thinking some things, but violence is at the top of the list, so we'll see how we go.
All right. Also, Blake, I meant to tell you this last night, but once we get to Alexandria, if you wish to split off and do your own thing, I think that's completely fair. I think it would be unfair for you to force you to continue with a mission you know nothing about.
It seems like y'all need somebody to patch you up when you're done.
How?
Everyone collectively
we
looks at Nozak and goes, yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Well-
As Blake says that, and everyone just kind of looks at me, you're gonna see me now in a white and red robe with the hood up over his head because I have now taken the white mage
How
class.
did you switch to white mage?
I did switch to white mage overnight.
I'm sorry. Psychic really saw how fucked up we were getting. Was like, let me just.
Let me just change literally 6 of my spells and my class.
Wow.
Listen,
I took white mage too.
Let's go.
2 white mages.
Nothing.
This is going to be great.
we are never
If anybody
going.
dies, I swear
We
to
are-
God.
Never going under half health again.
Nozak only switched because I nerfed red mage.
No, I was gonna switch to the white mage anyway, like thematically as well, but like I was just kind of getting a little bit annoyed that the spells that I was using with the red mage just wasn't working, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just be a healer.
Yeah, sure. All
That's
right.
fair.
So, what was the decision? To stay kind of on the road, off the road completely, within sight of the road?
We'll
Taking-
stay on the road until we get kind of like on the way to the checkpoints, and then we'll
Okay.
divert off the road so we can stay away from the checkpoints.
And your survival was 24. Okay. That's high enough to know to start seeing the signs that a checkpoint's coming up. Okay. So with staying on the road, the DC was higher, but 24 is pretty high. So you start seeing the telltale signs that you're getting close to the Empire's border and that a checkpoint is likely ahead. So you do have time enough to kind of divert yourself around that. It is probably going to add a day onto the travel time, having to go far enough away outside to cross over to find some unpopulated area to cross over back into non-Empire territory. But with a 24, you're able to do that. No problem whatsoever. But it does add just a little bit of time onto your journey. Each day ticking away, you still don't know where Grunthor is, if he's okay, if he's alive, or what. But
as been the next day going on, Izzy is basically just going to give a breakdown of everything that's happened to Blake so far.
Okay. What specifically do you? I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to give a rundown of the entire campaign up to this point, but like, what are the major points that you want to hit?
He's telling her. I'm about to say he's telling her quite literally everything. He has no reason to hide anything from her.
Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to think of any. Yeah, I'll say any personal details that of my party that have nothing to do with the story.
Okay.
That have nothing to do with our mission. So like he won't mention the fact that Nozak was on the moon for 100 years before he came by. Okay. He won't mention any of like the Golden Grin stuff he learned about Ava.
Okay.
And anything like that. Or like he may mention that he was doing research to find something for Grunthor, but I don't think he'll mention yeah.
Give me an insight check.
So what's I learn about Garuda? About Altair?
Okay.
About shit's fucked in the capital, but you know about that one. Let's go.
Nice, natural 20, baby.
Natural 20.
Let's go.
Okay. Blake. let's just see. Would you attempt to hide a reaction to something if you heard something that distressed you a little bit? Would you attempt to hide it, or you think that Blake's face would just show what was like her emotions beneath it?
I think that she'd try to hide it, but she has no poker face.
So we'll do a deception check. I mean, there's only one way to beat this, I think, but we'll still see.
Roll the nat 20. Let's go.
If she rolls a nat 20 and it's higher, then that would be the one way. That's not it. Izzy, you'll notice only briefly, and I don't imagine that Izzy would necessarily even stop his story for this. But Blake does have a very visible reaction. A little bit of shock, probably mixed with a little bit of, I don't know, Blake. Discomfort. Okay.
Yeah.
When you mention the whole you being killed and brought back to life thing, there is some slight. Yeah. I'm assuming this is just happening between the two of you, so I'm going to say no one else gets to roll on that. And then another instance, so you notice some discomfort and some surprise at that, and then Blake, you specifically also I would think look a little interested when Izzy mentions the bit about the plague in Lindblum, because it sounds very similar, almost identical actually, to the plague that had come through your town. So do with that as you will, you two.
All right. With that solid bit of information clearly memorized in your head, do you have any questions?
Do you know where the plague came from?
Oh, I haven't the foggiest clue. I have notes that they gave me, or my brother left. I don't remember. It's one of the two. You can look over them if you please. I've been trying to find anything that could possibly help. They asked me to look over them to see if there's any other info I could gain, but I haven't had any luck so far. He'll just pull out the parchment and hand it to her.
Yeah, I'd love to read. Thank you.
Yeah, if you're going to read through that, you can give me, whenever you have a chance to read through it, you can give me an investigation check too, and we'll see if you get any additional information.
Yes, I know a lot about medicine from my books, but something like this that hasn't been heard of before. It was very difficult for me to try to figure out.
So y'all don't know what it is either.
It's something that turns people into snakes? Question mark.
Well, I mean, it's not something like it's not like a plague that comes through every like it's not like the flu or sickness or like summer sickness or anything like that. It's nothing that you guys have seen before either.
I'm sorry, either. Do you have any uh, knowledge of the serpent pox?
Not real, just
Are they
that
called serpent pox?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
just that it devastated my home.
Oh,
We
well, I'm
had
sorry to hear that.
no like we have illness, like we have sickness. It comes through every so often. It's fine, like it's awful
Well,
always, but it's fine. This we've never seen anything like this. There have
if
been
it
so sorry.
uh, if it makes you feel better, from what I can tell, my brother did find a cure. However, it took a lot of trials, it seems, and tried to figure it out. And also, he probably had to work on a crunched time. So these notes probably aren't perfect.
No, that's fine. I've been just trying to figure out where this plague came from, if anybody knows about it, how to cure it, like how to prevent it. Like we live in the woods, and, like we have small communities. Like I think hopefully when I left we were doing fine, but I don't know if this comes again or if something worse comes. I don't know how I don't know if we could survive.
Well,
So just
luckily
anything
for
to stop
you,
it.
we're going to the place where the person who wrote those notes are. So maybe we can ask my parents, and if not, after we save the Empire, the King and Queen, if they're still alive, might be able to help us. I probably am not making you feel better, but those are the only options we have currently. I mean, I could also take a crack at it, but I think with what's happening now, we probably won't have any free time in the future to do so.
She's like trying to kind of thumb through it and read and walk and not like fall on her face. Probably not doing, probably failing at like at least one of those options, most likely reading.
It's a little difficult to read and walk at this pace. Okay.
Yeah, cause like Izzy is like a full like 2 feet taller, so like he's walking and she's like jogging.
Izzy's probably more than 2 feet taller. Izzy's probably like, how tall are you, Izzy?
I think I said he's like average height, so probably 5'8".
Okay. With the ears,
5'7", 5'8". Oh, with the ears, I haven't the foggiest clue.
Yeah, no, he's like walking and she's just like jogging. She's like trotting to keep up.
Yeah. Not really able to read it close enough to really glean anything this way. But whenever you get a chance, you can sit down and study it some more. We can do some rolls for that. But
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like canonically, they did come up with a way to handle this, right?
That's what you were told. You were told that it was dealt with, and that it wasn't it wasn't a problem in Lindblum anymore.
Okay. And they just wanted me to do a quick once over to see if they could glean any more info.
Because they were still trying to figure out where it came from. That's
they
were still
now
trying,
I'm starting to remember.
That was the piece they didn't have yet, is where the plague originated and basically how to prevent it. So
Okay.
Or things like it. So okay. So as we come towards Alexandria, as you get closer and closer to the city, you start to see, now that you're outside of the Empire, small little villages popping up here and there. Let's see. Nozak, you also always get the strange little looks now that you're getting back into populated territory of people just kind of giving you a double take because they've never seen anything like you before. But other than
What,
that,
a white mage? God damn.
no, a small bunny, a small bunny man walking on two legs. But as you make your way closer and closer to the heart of the city, you see that this is very much laid out different than Lindblum. So Lindblum was kind of this one major city that was kind of clustered on top of this big bluff, right? And it had the two walls, and everything was kind of behind that. This city, and specifically, is sprawling. So it's just as big as Lindblum, if not bigger, but it's sprawling all over the place and has more of an outskirts suburban type feel to it. The actual main palace and the central area, those are still behind massive walls. But because they've got more room, they're not kind of clustered together on that one, hill. They've been able to spread out. So by the time you actually get into Alexandria, into the different streets and shops and things like that, you're still quite a long ways away from the central portion of where the city is, the actual main city of Alexandria, the fortified city. However, you don't actually have to go there to find shops. There are all sorts of shops, magic shops. There are all sorts of inns, every which way that you can have. I don't have a map for Alexandria because I was sick last week and still a little sick and wasn't sure exactly how far into Alexandria you were going, but that's what you got. So,
are you telling me you didn't just materialize a map while you were sick?
I did not. No.
I can't believe this.
I chose to do other things.
You know what?
I know, I'm sorry.
You know what? Well, Wolf, all of us are going to have a conversation about this once this camera turns off.
That's I'm sorry. They're so mean to me. They're so mean to me when the camera stops rolling.
Oh my god. Can you guys imagine you're watching this on YouTube and Wolf starts saying that, but then it just edits? Anyways, Izzy is going to look at the other and say, I need to buy a spell scroll. I think it would probably be best for us to go in, buy this, and then find an inn that we can pay for maybe a month's worth of stays. Because I'm not sure how long we're going to be away from Gestures to B Squad.
Right.
Mostly. I'm not sure how long we'll be away from our other friends. Jane is healing. Sarah needs to stay safe, and I would prefer not to bring two children with us.
Luke and I have already talked about that, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful. So
we'll be fine. It'll just be us.
Perfect. DM, where's the nearest magic shop?
For the sake of time, we don't have to role play out the buying of the magic items and everything like that. It's easy enough to find in a city like this, and you would be able to purchase that spell, and you can use the table that I sent you for pricing on that.
Oh, you're right. I have to keep going into my shared with me because I'd be forgetting.
Yeah, so you can use that for the pricing on that. So you will have now the scroll of sending if you have the funds to pay for it. I also just want to point out it's hilarious that you all walked all the way to Alexandria. You could have just sent the message that first night. I love it. Love it. It's so in character, I think, especially for Nozak.
$700. I was gonna say dollars. 700 gil. Jesus.
I looked up the sending spell, and it needs to be to a creature with which you are familiar. And I'm not familiar with Master Matoya.
Yeah.
I haven't died yet, so.
Interesting. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it is an expensive spell. It's third level.
Yeah, I think he says, actually, I may need to just add it to my spell book directly. The problem is... How much
are we missing? How broke are we?
It's about 700 gil, and I only have 636.
Lucas
here, have another 100.
Well. You don't have to... Okay.
Just fucking take the money. This is how we're getting Grunther back. I don't fucking care.
I guess once we get back to Miss Sadia, depending on how it goes, we may be able to get some supplies for free.
And plus,
Maybe.
if Gunther's dead, we can claim his 50,000 gil bounty.
Okay,
highly
grim, but
doubt it.
okay.
Okay. I have 36 gold left.
Okay. So, for time, you have your scroll, and we're back in the room. You can send your message to Matoya. We'll also say that it was easy enough, and I'll say that Sarah had the funds on her to cover the months. Sarah or Jane, between the two of them, since they're staying, they can cover the month. Also because
Rich
you're broke.
girl activity.
So she is a queen.
Yep.
Yeah, she's Queen of Cordelia, so she can gain some favor.
Yeah. Although I guess is she still a
I think
queen?
she owes us one.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. They don't know that it's gone.
True. True. So Izzy, what is your message?
He unfurls the scroll. Think Naruto ninja scroll style as he pulls it out and it begins to glow. I don't know, the way that I think spell scrolls is I think they would adapt to how other people cast magic. So I think it very quickly shifts into a piece of parchment, and he writes down, Master, this is an emergency. Please come to me in Alexandria as quickly as possible. I need you right now.
Do the
Please.
R's count?
Hmm?
Do the R's
Please.
and the ums count?
No.
Please
Ah.
come as. Please come. No. Please come quickly if possible. That's 25. He writes it down. You see he waves his hand and it folds into a paper airplane and shoots out of the window.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Like,
You
right,
can also reply to sending, so that's gonna be fun.
right as the it kind of goes out the window and then just kind of vanishes. And you wait for a minute. 2
Okay,
minutes.
sweet.
You get no
Please
response.
tell me that.
Well, it seems like we are stuck here unless any of you have a way to get to an airship. Which airships
airships
don't even
don't
work
You
correctly.
hear a knock at your door.
Okay.
Is
Izzy
it that
will
quick?
open the door.
What the fuck?
Master Matoya is standing there as she just kind of pushes past you and goes, "What the hell did you do this time?" She kind of looks at you, and you can still smell the faint smell of like teleportation magic coming off of her. She's still smoking a little bit. She kind of looks you up and down.
Was she in our backyard? How the fuck did she get here this quick?
Didn't die again, did you? No, you
No. Teacher, would you like to introduce yourself to my friends?
not really.
He gives her a look, and I think they have a silent conversation where they are both scowling at each other in like the exact same way.
Roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna do rollies. So we're just gonna do a straight D20 roll
Yeah,
My
sure.
God,
to see who cracks first.
I love her.
Oh my god.
Nice. That's an 8.
Okay, I had a 13. So she just,
Damn.
after a while, her eyebrow just goes up like, what? What am I here for?
He sighs and says, everyone, this is Matoya, my teacher.
You didn't see me, though.
DM,
I was never here.
DM,
Yeah.
what does she look like? Because I completely forget.
If you just Google Final Fantasy 14, Matoya. It's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's just
I just
straight
had
out
to
of
be
that
sure.
game. So just Google
I just had
that.
to be sure which era we were in.
That's the one I'm going with. That old lady.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So she just kind
Okay.
of, she has a little handbag here that she just kind of reaches to you, and she goes over to find one of the beds, and she just kind of plops down on it. All right. Yeah, I was in the middle of cleaning. So what am I here for?
There's been an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you are not a fan of the Empire or of Missadia,
Mm-hmm.
but I need you to take us there because apparently the oldest child of the Empire has gone mad, and long story short, that thing that you said. Remember when you were talking about how you have doomsday prep, and I told you that it was ridiculous to think that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you have your doomsday prep because it seems like the Garland Empire might go crazy.
I know. You don't get to be as old as me and not know that shit's gonna hit the fan eventually, kid.
He sighs a bit, and as you guys look at them, you realize that Izzy they're the same person but in a different font. And if Izzy is basically Master Matoya if she chose to have tact with her words.
So Izzy is Matoya with italics, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, pretty much. He says, "Well,
what now? Why you want to go back there? That place up in the sky."
Apparently, my brother kidnapped our friend for whatever reason, and I need to go get him back. And they promised me they would help me get him back, and in return, I'll continue with the mission they want me to do with them.
All right. So what do you need me for?
I need you to take us to Massadia because.
Well, I'm not going there. Fuck no.
You don't have to take me there. Just teleport us there. Please. Unfortunately, there's no wind right now, as you probably know already.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah, crazy how that happened.
Yeah, weird.
That's really unfortunate.
Oh.
Would you like an update into my life, or would you like the short version?
Is there such a thing as a short version, Izzy?
Oh, absolutely not.
Then I don't want it. I don't want either. All right? I don't care. Now, she gets up, and you can hear, like, bones cracking. She kind of pops her back a little bit. I don't know why you dragged me all the way out here. I mean, that was like a 2-second teleportation. Just take your friends to Massadia.
I can't teleport them.
Have you tried?
He looks at her with an expression, and he says, "Of all the people in the world, do you seriously think I would know without of trying?"
I mean, I haven't seen you try yet, Izzy. To be fair, I'm awake a lot.
You understand I have a life outside of all of you, correct? Like, I didn't meet you all and then come to consciousness.
When's the last time you tried?
Remember that one time you heard something crashing while you were trying to sleep? That's when.
Well, that wasn't today, now was it?
Ooh, damn, you're a good teacher. Shit.
That's what I said. I know.
Hey, you gotta respect your elders, and those actually just gonna look at Luca.
If I do this, will that make you feel better if you have to teleport us?
Sure, let's say that.
Fine. You see he pulls out a book. And says, "Chalk, please." And he holds his hand out to Master Matoya.
She had thrust her bag into your hands. She just looks at her bag and stares at you. Doesn't say anything.
Jesus. What? Sorry, fantasy Jesus. Why do you make it a habit of making every place you live in your home? You see, he goes into the bag and pulls out chalk. You guys see that almost immediately he draws a magical circle on the floor. And like it's with intention. He knows what he's doing. And you see he says, this would be the correct incantation, but to have enough power to teleport somewhere with more than one other person is something that's beyond my purview.
She walks over and just kicks the chalk out of your hand while you're trying to explain it.
All right.
Izzy. Okay. All right. What have I been telling you the whole time? You keep saying you got no spark, son, but you do. You do. It's just different. You still got a tie to Massadia. You still Massadia born. You are still, the son of a archmage, right?
Correct, but that's just a title.
What Did I tell you when I sent you out on your quest?
You see he goes through his notes and he says, and he looks deeply. You see he pushes glasses up. Hear, feel, think.
Okay. You been working on that any?
Yes, I do all the time. I hear, I feel, and I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you, though? Do you really hear? Give me a history
Yes.
check.
Yeah, sure. Good shit. That's a nice 13.
13. You're struggling with what she's getting at. She kind of gets down.
Yeah.
As you're kind of sitting on the ground, she kind of gets down and squats in front of you, and she's like, just a second. She kind of gets down low. She just looks you in the eye. Is it why you think I sent you on this quest?
Because you want your staff. She would be able to tell he's lying. He does not think that's the reason she sent him.
What's the real reason you think?
He looks around. He says, "You don't have to try to be nice. I know.
I'd never
It's
try to be
impossible.
nice.
I know that it's impossible for you to teach me, and I haven't come to terms with you didn't want me around yet. Okay, so it's a bit
Impossible to
difficult
teach-
for me to pick up.
Hey. Nobody says Matoya can't teach. All right? Nobody says that. Now, let me ask you, and she kind of points around to the rest of you. Anybody here seen this kid do magic? Anybody?
I did.
Yeah.
Was it any good? Was it like the shitty kind of magic you see that the people with the card tricks?
Oh, it's pretty fucking cool.
I mean, he's taken out a dragon. He's taken out a human fire elemental. Like,
Tell
He's
me
done a
Mom
lot.
Matoya can't teach. She turns back to you. No, I can teach. I can teach those that can learn. You can learn, but you got to listen. You've got to hear. Give me another intelligence or another history check with advantage.
and like the
You
bitch
know
was
what?
about to
I
break
just
in the
might.
song.
Natural 20, baby.
Natural 20.
Let's go.
As she's talking to you, you start to think back. You start to think very analytically about this. You start to think about the conversations you've had. You start to think about what you've heard. You start to think about Sarah telling you that there's more to you than you're letting on, that there's more, you have more you can do. You start thinking about the conversation with Minwoo, who was seemed like he had some kind of information about why Matoya would send you on this quest, why maybe she picked you. Also saying that you need to have faith in yourself, that you need to have confidence and believe in yourself. You think back to the countless conversations you've had within your very party of people saying the same thing, of people giving you praise, of people telling you how impressed they were with what you've done, and just the awe of what you're capable of. As Matoya kind of sees you going through all this, she goes, "Now hear 'em. Close your eyes and fucking try."
I
Okay.
love her.
I think Izzy closes his eyes, and for a second, he's about to just stop because he doesn't hear anything. But he sticks with it because he understands that this will probably go quicker if he does what Matoya wants.
Hmm.
And I think just for a second, he hears the slightest bit of whispering, and I think he's surprised, and he follows that thread. And as he does, I think he focuses a bit, and this time he is not touching his orb. His orb isn't even glowing. I think he speaks out every single rune he wrote down, and he does it over and over again.
Okay. As you see him doing this, the air in the room starts to almost electrify. You can see certain objects on the table shake a little bit and start lifting off the ground as you feel actually wind in the room for the first time as things kind of whip around and this portal opens up right.
Ava, that's cheating.
Yeah, Ava's over in the corner. This portal kind of twists and opens right in front of Izzy as Master Matoya just kind of stands back up. I told you, Izzy. Here. That's the first step.
Yeah, I think he genuinely looks shocked.
That's the first step. Which is great. I'm glad you got that because I wasn't going to Mysidia.
It's fine. Could you...
Listen.
I know a lot is happening.
No, go ahead. Sorry. No. I got plenty of time to talk.
A lot is happening right now. Could you just... If you sense anything that isn't of balance, could you please let us know? Because I think whoever we're up against is also going after the same things we are, which are the crystals.
I'll keep an ear out. How's that sound? You should do the same thing, though, Izzy. Oh, one more thing. I didn't lose my staff. And she just is gone.
You guys hear a very long 30-second sigh come from Izzy.
You feel something on your back as you kind of start pulling around. The portal's still open there, by the way. And you pull out the magical broom that she had given you. And you see it's kind of vibrating and clicking around. And you see that it's kind of transforming in your hands as the broom is still a broom, but as it kind of elongates and clicks into place, things turn around. The dusty old bristles at the bottom start to kind of flail out, and it has a magical kind of runes that kind of sprinkle down it, and the words "here," or the word "here," just prints on the side. This is now a flying broom that you have.
Hey!
Let's go! Holy
and
shit.
you have completed step 1 of your journey of recovery.
God damn it. Of course she has 3 steps.
Here, feel, think, baby.
I think Izzy looks at the broom, and I think he just holds it before just saying, "Here." And immediately he floats up, and I think he just goes, "Whoa. Guys, I think I can fly now."
Oh. Ooh. Yeah.
And I think as he looks, he's like, "Oh no!" And you guys see that the portal is like slowly closing. He's like, "I think we should, yeah." And he just jumps through.
All right.
Oh, that was very quick. Luke and Ellie, stay with Sarah. I'm sorry, I'll be back as soon as I can. And Nozak's gonna leap through.
He just gives you kind of a wave. Take care, old man. Ava, Blake, what are y'all doing?
Hope to see you in Mysidia. I'm running.
Blake just kind of messes with her crystal for a moment, just kind of thinking, and then just jumps through as well. Like
one quick thing, as you're touching your crystal, you look up past the portal. On the other side, you can see the city of Mysidia. It's a floating city, and you can see clouds and things. But within the portal itself, you see a very familiar face of the stranger that just gives you a very slow, subtle nod.
And so she kind of resets her soldiers and go, "Here we go," and jumps through.
Okay. That's where we're going to end tonight's session. Izzy, I will update your magic item. It is a flying broom, but it also has an additional perk. You do have a special spell. It's called Return, and it will be a spell that you can use.
The cleric spell.
That links you to Mysidia specifically. So you have
cool.
So there's some details around that, but that is one of the powers unlocked by completing the
That
first step.
gives me a lot of info of where I think this is going.
So so there you go. So Blake, you now have jobs. Izzy, you now have completed your first step of searching for her staff? ? Ava, you got a new cantrip. Nozak, you're still here.
1 foot taller. Aw.
You got fucking
You had
roasted
enough
earlier
time,
on
Nozak.
intentionally.
Yeah, I got roasted.
Yeah,
It
you
looks
got
like we're having
roasted.
fucking rabbit for dinner.
So, for those of you on the stream, thank you for watching. For those of you on YouTube, again, thank you so much for sticking with us for 19 episodes. You will notice that we did not have the Grunthor episode. There was some scheduling conflicts. We are going to try to do that this week, though. So I guess it'll be 19 too. And we should, if things go according to plan, be meeting back up with Grunthor with the main party next week. So the Grunthor solo episode will bridge the gap
excited.
between what happened there. And I think it's going to be interesting. I do. So check that out. That should be dropping sometime as soon as we can get it scheduled and up. But otherwise, thank you all for playing. Thank you for watching. Again, just indulging all of us in this crazy journey that we're going on. So until next time.
So we love you, Kellen.
We do. That's true. Shout out to thank you for your comments on YouTube all the time. They make my week, and I look forward to reading them every time. So now you have to keep it up because we all like it and we all love it so much. So anyway, have a great week. We will see you next time. Lally ho, friends.